Hi, welcome to Enter the Bunker, where we launch you into thriving. Each week we talk about a different virtue that can be used as a building brick to build your own personal bunkers. We share personal stories, as well as tips and tricks to help you thrive instead of survive. So sit down, relax, and enter the bunker.
Hello, and welcome to Enter the Bunker's part 2 of Certainty. I was almost certain that it wasn't certainty, but it is.
Certitude.
See? Certitude, part 2 of Certitude. That rhymes. So we're going to give you some tips on... We're not going to give you the tips. We're going to go over some tips, and you can take the tips if you want them, about how to be more certain. So we have 3 things here. The first one, eliminate backdoors or exit strategies. 2, focus on the path, not the outcome. And 3, shift your focus. I'm intrigued about number 2. Focus on the path, not the outcome.
We will see.
We will see. Okay, number 1, eliminate backdoors or exit strategies. Have you ever wanted to embark on a new path, but you held yourself back? It is usually being uncertain that will cause you to revert to your old path. But that is usually because you are left yourself a backdoor or an exit strategy to the old path. And you did it before you ever began. That has not only planted the seeds of doubting your success, even if it is subconsciously, it has also caused you not to give it your all. When you're embarking on a new path, be certain that it is the path that you want to be on and eliminate any backdoors to your old path. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's easier said than done, but ask yourself, how has it worked out for you in the past? You guessed it. It has left you in the same place. Yeah.
So, do you leave backdoors?
Yes. I feel like I do.
Really?
I don't know. I think so. When it comes to certain things, not for everything in life, but certain things, I think I don't know. Okay. Explain to me, I want to say dumb down, like what leaving a back door, I guess, is open. Because sometimes I read and sometimes I'm just not thinking either.
So probably the best example I've seen of people who leave backdoors in their strategies is when they go to try to start a new business.
Okay.
And what happens is that they may be working at a job and they think, well, if I do this stuff like in my after hours, I'm going to be able to create my own business and so forth, right?
Right.
But what they end up doing is rather than putting all their effort and their all, if they really do want to embark on this new path and become and start their own business and actually do that, then they need to leave their job. Like they will stay there and they'll go, well, it's not quite there yet. And like, oh, once I get here or there, then maybe I'll go to it full time, and there's always these excuses. And it's because they always have that back door to, I got my job, I got this is where I get my regular paycheck. I'm not going to take the risk to set out on my own and do my own business.
I watched Dragonstone a lot, and that was actually one of the number one things that they would often say to them, like, what do you do for your full-time job? And if the answer wasn't this, a lot of the times I could see it in them, like just they didn't want it. Like they weren't invested.
Yeah, that's right. Because they haven't actually they've left that back door.
Yeah.
And
so I guess maybe I don't leave back doors. I guess I maybe read into that wrong.
Well, there's other ways that it applies. This is just a really good example of what happens with a lot of people.
Yes.
If you are going to set out on something new, then you have to take out whatever allows you to be able to back out of it, right? And that's what this is about. So, it's another good example. Think about if you were to take you wanted to get educated about a certain topic,
right?
So let's say that you're not just getting educated about a topic, you're getting educated to be able to take on a career. Okay. And rather than actually putting all your effort into taking the courses needed to get into that new career, you just kind of go, well, I'll get to, like, well, I don't have to, like, it's like you end up looking for a course that allows you to take it on your own time. And like, there's only, you don't need to, you can go at your own pace and things like that, rather than taking a course that's like, you got to be there every day, every night,
Get this
to get
done.
that done.
Yeah.
And you only have 2 months to be able to do it. And that's it. Right. So that's the difference
Mhm.
of, and so what some people will do, because they're not fully committed, they're not walking with certainty that this is what they really want to do, they will they'll make that backdoor. They'll go, well, I could do the course that allows me to be able to do it on my free time whenever I want to. And then
Okay.
what happens? Where's that free time? It's not there, right?
Yeah.
Because then you start making these excuses for why you couldn't actually take the course that
Open
day,
up
or oh, it's
other
too much, like,
backdoors.
what should have taken what should have been a 1 month course if you were going to work on it part time, ends up 6 months later, oh, I just never finished it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting. Number 2 is focus on the path, not the outcome. Certainty isn't knowing the outcome. It is knowing the path that you are on is the right one for you, and being confident that that outcome will also be right for you, regardless of what that outcome might be. Life is an experience, not a destination. Let the experience guide you. It may take you to what you planned, but it also may take you to somewhere better than you planned, or maybe even somewhere you never knew you needed to be. But when being sure that the path you are on is the right one, you can guarantee yourself, be certain the outcome will be what is right for you too. Yeah. So when I first read this, I felt like the outcome's like the end goal, like the main picture, the big picture, like, and I feel like that's what you want to look at till you get there. But I guess I forget about the path.
Yeah.
Like, I understand there's the path and to enjoy it, but I guess maybe we've talked about other building bricks too, where I forget which one they were, but it's kind of like just taking the step back and like looking at the sky
Right.
that time, like taking a minute. So I kind of feel like it's the same thing as like, just don't rush it maybe, or enjoy the path that you're on.
Yeah. So there's another quote: "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Right.
Okay.
It's a very popular quote.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it comes from. It's probably an ancient Chinese proverb or something like that. But the certitude. So it's not about it's not about the destination. Right?
Yeah.
The journey itself, and just being able to be certain that everything's going to work out for what you're setting out for, is what matters most than where you're going to end up. Because the truth is, what did we just talk about? Everything will change, right? So you don't know in the future if you're actually going to reach that destination. But if you have certitude, then whatever destination you arrive at, is the
It's
right,
going to be okay.
is going to be okay, right?
Mhm.
So as long as you continue on that, because if you are so focused on the destination as being all that matters, you're never going to make it through the journey, right? You'll get sideswiped by something else that happens in life, because it'll happen. Change will happen,
Mhm.
and then next thing you know, that journey just, like, whatever that destination is, disappears. But if you have certitude, if you are focused on walking the path with certitude, then you can actually be able to continue on whatever kind of changes happen, and just know that it's going to end up probably not, maybe in the same place, but probably not,
Yeah.
and probably in a better place,
I was
right?
just going to say that. Yeah.
Because all these things will happen. You have tragedies in your life. There is death. There is destruction. There is just all kinds of things that could come, and you just think, if you're walking a path where you're just looking at what's immediately in front of you, you are going to be emotionally destroyed by it, right? So, but if you have the certitude of, like, things are going to work out, I have hope, I have faith, I have the confidence, then what happens is that all that happens with you, you walk through it, right?
Mhm.
And then you come out of it from the other side of it, and suddenly you look back and you're like, wow, that was amazing. Like, I just had no idea that this would where I'd be now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So this is
You
the
know what? I think
difference.
a good way, because I feel like sometimes in the moment you're like, I don't know, I don't see it. But like for me personally, I like looking back, I've already seen that happen from my past to now. Like, look where I am now.
Yeah.
But this is never where I pictured myself when you asked me where I want it to be in 5 years in my interview.
Yeah.
And it's only been 3.5. So
Still going.
Yeah. All right. So number 3 is shift your focus. It is impossible to control everything. Ugh. Yeah. So focus on what you can control. Yeah. There is no end to what you cannot control or predict. When you focus on those things, you are left anxious and scared. You can't control the weather, but you can control whether you have an umbrella or if you are dressed appropriate for the temperature. Focusing on the latter will allow you to weather the storm and still reach your destination. Yeah. It's impossible to control everything. I'm like sitting here reading this, and you guys can see I'm like fooling with this because obviously that's me.
So it's true that you can't control the weather, but they can control the weather. Just so we can be clear about that. There's weather control technology. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So so it may not be something in your control, but it's in somebody else's control.
Else's control.
I'm going to preface that right now. But so the truth is that you can't control everything, you can't predict everything, and that's what we've been talking about. Is that there's just no way for us to be able to predict the change that's going to happen. We can try, we can do our best with whatever kind of predictive engine we have to do that. But the truth is that
you won't enjoy your path.
You're not going to enjoy it. Yeah,
you're going to be left anxious and scared, and every other feeling.
So you turn on that certainty filter, or that certitude filter, and you're able to walk through it, even as things change. And the only thing you can't control is you, right? And so if that's the thing that you want to be able to make change in, that's the only thing you should be focusing on. Yeah. Those that get focused on how somebody else is doing, or they're just like, oh, I wish they would do this or do that. It's just like, the change actually has to be with you and dealing with that. Yeah. It's not about how they need to change, it's about how you need to change your
Nobody
response
should ever
to that.
change themselves. Like, you should never change anybody. People should want to change themselves.
Yeah. It's not in your control.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You can manipulate people. And that's what a lot of people try to do.
Yeah.
But when you're doing that, then you're actually destroying trust. And you're destroying the relationship, right? So it's important that when it comes to your focus, instead of being so concerned about how somebody else is doing, be concerned with how you're doing to your response and not somebody else.
Yeah.
Because that's where the work needs to be.
Yeah.
Right. And if more people did that, what a wonderful world we would live
in.
Oh
my
goodness. So
everyone be skipping down the road. Okay, so this was a good one. Okay, so this is a really good episode. Next week, Building Brick will be Sincerity. We'll see you there.
I sincerely expect to see you there.
Thank you for listening to Enter the Bunker. Make sure to follow us on Instagram where you can share your story and also look at behind the scenes of how we make our podcast. You can watch the video version of this podcast on YouTube by simply searching Enter the Bunker. Tune in next time as we launch into thriving.